This video presentation is brought to you by Cour's Mass Machine Nutrition. Real physical development, real sports nutrition. Visit the Mass Machine Nutrition website today at www.massmachinenutrition.com. By House of Pain Ironwear. You can get all the workout clothing, Cour and Tyrus Reed wear at www.houseofpain.com. And by Natural Muscle Magazine. You can read the online version at www.naturalmuscle.net.
Today I want to talk about standards and how to evaluate your current standards to make sure they are high enough to get you where you say you really want to go, right? So, Tyrus, we just had a week of training. How was it for you? Tell me how this week was of training, all the things you consider. Well, how was it for you?
This week, I consider it really well. Actually, we pushed it real hard with the weight. The intensity was good. We didn't get ahead of ourselves talking too much. But me personally, I feel like I did really well. I keep going up in weight. My reps are getting better. My form is really well. I'm eating like I should be. I missed a couple meals the last few days,
okay.
So that's kind of affecting me a little bit. But my meals and overall it's been really well.
Okay. Now, when I do a lot of coaching with people, just like you all over the world, and when they tell me that I train hard or I train with intensity, even I eat really well. Okay, that means nothing to me. And the reason why is that everybody has a set of standards. You may be eating very well in your opinion, and that's great. You're making yourself happy. Whatever standards you've created for your eating habits or your training habits or your cardio training habits, whatever the standards that you created, you're meeting those. And that's great, all right? It's that you have to be specific. And then as your coach, you may need to sit back with a coach or with yourself, and you need to evaluate, are the standards that I created high enough? All right, I made myself happy. I said I'm training hard, I'm training with intensity, I'm eating well, but are those standards truly high enough to get you where you want to go? So you need to continually evaluate that with specifics. So then when I asked you, after you said that you're training hard, you're training with intensity, you're pretty focused, you went into specifics. He talked about the weight he's pushing, how he's recording that weight. He talked about not doing so much talking, his eating habits. So he got really specific with those standards, and those all equal a certain level of performance. And that's why you have this good feeling when you say, I train well, or it was a good week of training, or I'm training with intensity. So it's really important. So the lesson here and the assignment for you to do is really sit down and think about it. What has to happen? What do I have to do to have a great week of training, or a great week of eating, or a great week of my bodybuilding and training efforts, your health and fitness efforts? We all have different goals. Now, Tyrus, his goals are to win the Muscle Mania contest next June. All right, and that's great. So he needs to make sure all of those standards that he's created, are going to be high enough. I'm going to make sure with him that they are high enough. And he needs to evaluate those every week. The next step is then he's got to constantly take them up to higher and higher levels. As we've been training, when I first got together with Tyrus about 5 or 6 weeks ago now, I just got him in a pattern of thinking, a pattern of doing, organizing his day, making sure that he's pushing himself, challenging himself to a different type of training routine where you're really pushing yourself, letting him feel intensity. So the standards I had in week 1 and week 2 are a lot different now. I constantly raise those standards where we're talking more about focus, or a little distinction when it comes to the execution of an exercise. I didn't want to overwhelm him with these outrageous standards right from the beginning. So the process, it starts with getting really clear in your mind. So I want you to get really specific. So the next time we talk about standards, I want you to get a piece of paper and write down 10 things. 10 things that have to happen in order for you to have a great, amazing, outstanding workout, all right?
Okay.
Get specific, make it manageable, and then we'll monitor those at the end of every week. So when I say, hey Tyrus, how's your week of training? You have this checklist. Did I meet this? Okay, did pretty well on this. I really nailed that. I can improve with that. So you can come up with a real concrete way of evaluating your workout based on really well-formed, well-thought-out standards. So it's no longer I train hard, I train with intensity. And that's the biggest challenge I have with you out there, is that you think you're training hard, after you're getting frustrated, you think you're hitting plateaus, you're doing everything possible that you believe to reach your goals, and you're not reaching them, and you're getting frustrated. I'm telling you, it's all in the standards. Champions have outrageous standards that are up there, and not only do they have outrageous standards, they constantly evaluate them every week, every day even, to see if they're meeting them, and always asking for more. And when they do meet those standards, like they have those 10 things on their list, and they're knocking them out every single week, no problem, well then they've got to up the ante. You know, it's no longer these 10, I need to do 2 more on top of it, and then 2 more on top of it. It's that way of thinking, it's that way of doing that creates a champion who has unbelievable standards, and it comes out in an unbelievable physique. So write down your 10 specific standards that we can evaluate at the end of every week, and I want you to do the same.
Take your bodybuilding and training efforts to the next level. Visit my skiplacour.com website and invest in my DVDs, ebooks, and audio seminar courses. This video presentation is brought to you by Skip LaCour's Mass Machine Nutrition. Real physical development, real sports nutrition. Visit the Mass Machine Nutrition website today at www.massmachinenutrition.com. Follow this Mass Machine Nutrition website as I outline, explain, and coach 23-year-old natural bodybuilder Tyrus Reed, my Mass Machine training program. It's a physical, mental, emotional, and psychological approach to bodybuilding and training.